I did quite a bit on Whirlpool, trying to, me and my FOIs, and trying to get, who said what to whom about Whirlpool. And the government's so little that, that was, and it was all the local, and it was all down to Peterborough to do. It's like, well, how are they meant to do that on £2.50? It's like, no, that it wasn't a local problem. That was a huge national problem, and it should have had national funding for that, and it didn't at all. And it took years, and it's still not sorted now.
Yeah, and that's the difficulty, isn't it? 5 30 works really well in most cases. The fact, and it's really hard to argue with the principle that businesses should be able to go to a regulator, get advice, and other regulators follow that. So, principle, that works really, really well. But there are occasions, and Whirlpool's a really good example, when the significance of that decision is too big to place on a local authority.
Absolutely.
And it's a really interesting one for us, because we called for a full recall ahead of Which and anyone else at a time that our colleagues in Peterborough had given the advice into Whirlpool. Now, there's nothing wrong with the advice that they gave, because that was based on the evidence that put forward. It just didn't pass our mum's test. It just didn't feel right. And I think it's really hard when you're a local regulator, because you expose yourself to so much risk. You have to follow the letter of the law. And this is sometimes when you need that national regulator to come in and go, actually, we need to do what's in the best interest of UK consumers. And that might not be, following that path. It's about how you cut through that, how you get a very quick solution where you turn around and say, actually, these need to be recalled. And I remember actually going into, it was an odd thing, so I had to give evidence to one of the Bays committees on this, and I'm sitting in the back whilst you've got Electrical Safety First, Which, and London Fire Brigade sitting up there, and then they finished and they called us up, and I'm with Whirlpool and Andia and me, and I'm suddenly thinking I'm sitting with the bad guys. It was an odd experience trying to justify. We were trying to justify why a decision was made by an authority when it should never have been placed upon them to do that. I think the model that the Food Standards Agency had, and the Food Standards Agency get some things wrong like we all do, but the one thing they had is they had a much better coordinated relationship with local authorities, with that ability for national issues to go up, to get directions, and I think we've got that now, hopefully with OPSS. So hopefully, if this happens again, we'll be able to move quicker. But you know what, they're still in the chain. There's still people with unsafe products in their house, and that's wrong. And we need to have a system that protects consumers much quicker and much better. But memories are so short, aren't they?